We are underway. Zambia's Copper Queens playing in their copper shirts and black shorts and copper socks. From left to right, the Congolese all in white. From right to left, this is their first ever meeting. The Women's Africa Cup of Nations, or WAFCON. And the Congolese will be hoping it goes better than their last game against Southern African opposition, having lost 4-1 to South Africa in 2012, and that Zambia's final game or last game against Central African opposition doesn't also go the way it went then back in 2018 when they beat Equatorial Guinea by 5-0 today. Alongside me, Desire Operanozie, the former Nigeria forward, a 4-time winner of this competition, scored in 3 finals, a Golden Boot winner just over a decade ago. Desire, what are you expecting to see on the pitch today? A game that Zambia have to win to be sure of going through to the knockout phase, while the Congolese are simply playing for pride.
Well, I expect a tough game for both teams. I mean, it's a game of who wants it more. Will it mean more for Congo to go home with at least a point, or will Zambia take it all and top the field? We are about to find out.
We are indeed. A pleasure to have Desire alongside us and the commentating team at this WAFCON. And Zambia, they start fast. 58 seconds it took Barbara Banda to open the scoring against Morocco on the opening day of the tournament. The second fastest goal in history in the competition. And after Senegal took the lead 4 minutes in, or 5 minutes in the latter game, Zambians drew level with 12 minutes on the clock as we see Hautler, the Swiss coach. So just for the record, Zambia having drawn 2-2 with the host nation on Saturday, and then they followed that up and beating the Senegalese by 3-2 as Naomi Kaba for the Congolese. It's clipped and pulled up, and she wins her side a free kick. And Hervé Happy, well, he obviously hasn't been what his name would suggest for much of this tournament. 4-0 they lost on Sunday against the West Africans, Senegal. And then against the Moroccans, well, they were level at 2-2 with 20 minutes to go, but they ended up losing that game by 4-2 in Rabat. Ridlane Chabak scoring a hat-trick, the first at the tournament in 7 years. So many changes to this Congolese side today, Desire, and it's going to be a real baptism of fire for some of them, making their debuts against what is a really, really strong side. But the coach is out of this. I mean, the goalkeeper, regular goalkeeper, is not even in the squad. She's been dropped after heavy criticism for her performance against Morocco. But so, I guess there are a couple of ways of looking at it. One is that he knows his side can't get through, and he's blooding these young players for the tournaments to come in future. And let's not forget, it's only in March next year that the 2026 WAFCON gets underway.
Yes, you know, judging from the fact that the coach was just newly appointed recently, and I think he's in a build-up process. He's trying to build the team, and considering the fact that he didn't have enough time to actually spend time with his players to understand them and all, I think we can actually excuse him in this tournament, and perhaps they will plan for the future and, you know, build for the future.
Well, Hervé Happy, the 47-year-old, was only appointed towards the end of May on a 2-year contract. Precious little time to work with the squad. He was formerly a technical advisor of the French Football Federation, where he had spent the previous decade. And he says he wants to build, mentor and help players progress. That is what motivates me. And he is giving a chance to several individuals in this squad, and a few of them in this game as well, who are very new faces even to the Congolese journalists, because they were spotted by Happy, based in France and not on the radar of previous coaches. Rachel Kundananji down the left-hand side for Zambia. To the byline she goes, into the middle, great ball in, and that's a first touch for Ruth Condé, the 26-year-old, one of those based in France. La Colombe, she plays for her maiden cap, her first touch on the ball. She took it well, and that will give her a little bit of confidence to get a good hand on the ball early on.
It is actually, it will give her a very good confidence. First touch, well cut off ball, and I mean, going into this game, I think she will actually, that can actually, set her in a very good spot to continue an impressive performance.
Well, Mercy Chipasula is also making her debut today. She's even younger than those on the Congolese side, 17 years of age. She called up a dream come true. The former captain of the under-17 side, and she will occupy that right hand side in midfield for the Copper Queens. Really interesting. We're really interested to see what the Congolese are going to come up with today. Olga Masombo on the ball, touches it back into Kaba Kaba, spreads it back, plays it into Benny Kubiena. Played every single minute of this campaign so far for the Leopardesses. Into the midfield they go, well read by Lushoma Mwemba. And Kundananji will look instantly forward to Barbara Banda. Through she goes, Banda, trying to get past two, clattered, brought down, free kick to Zambia. And just as ever, she gets it, and she's so direct, straight for goal.
Yes, that's what Banda is known for, and you can't be playing a high defense against an athletic Zambian team. They will explore those spaces behind the defense, and Congo cannot afford to allow Zambia those spaces behind their defense, because each time they get through, they look very deadly, and they are likely going to get something out of it.
Well, we're talking about Deborah Ungalula making her debut, and within the opening 10 minutes she has gone into the referee's notebook. The player based in France with La Roche-Vendée, just 23 years of age, and Hervé Appy using his experience to pluck some of these players for the future. This is the fourth visit for the Congolese to this tournament, but the first in well over a decade. 2012 the last time they played, and sadly for them their record stretching back to that period is not one they'll really want to talk about too much. Their last 4 games, they have lost them all, and they have conceded a total of 18 goals as well. 8 of those this past week alone. Banda stands over it, leaves it, striker goal from Kundananji, who opens the scoring for Zambia. They've done it again, they have struck early. And Rachel Kundananji, once the world's most expensive women's footballer, has got her 3rd of the tournament, just as she did in 2022. And she goes joint level with Banda on 3 goals. And look at the celebrations as well, and that is the perfect start for Zambia. And just what the Congolese did not want. And that will settle the Zambians down. And worryingly for the Congolese, it could be a sign of much worse to come. Condé, her first real effort, and I'm afraid to say she just did not deal with it well enough. Should that have been going through her grasp? Was that nerves? Was that inexperience? Let's be honest, she should have done better.
Yeah, she should have done better, really, because, I mean, the ball, you would have, as a goalkeeper, you formed your wall, so the wall have done their job. The other remaining spaces is for the goalkeeper to cover it, and that was a low ball. She should have really dealt with it. I guess it's inexperienced on her part.
Inexperience, nerves, all part of the learning process. Nothing much to lose, as said here, given that the Congolese are already out. They are the only one of the 12 sides here going into their final game at this Total Energies Women's Africa Cup of Nations who cannot make it through to the final phase. But the flip side of that is there are 11 other sides that can, which makes for a very, very exciting end to the group phase of this tournament ahead of those quarter-finals. that get underway in just under a week's time. Well, Kundananji scored and assisted for the first time in a WAFCON game last time around against the Senegalese. She's now got 6 goals from her 2 visits to the final. She wasn't here in 2022 because of confusion over gender eligibility rules. She was here in 2018. And she scored what is still the most ever amount of goals by a Zambian on this tournament, 3. And I wonder if that's going to be broken today, especially with the bounder on the pitch and Kundananji in such good goal scoring form as well. Well, there's a foul and the free kick goes Zambia's way. Blessing Maluba, another youngster on this pitch, 18 years of age, the centre back who plays her football with Nchanga Queens back home. Only her 3rd appearance for Zambia today, but clearly helped let the coach see something in her, having moved her to centre back from midfield where she normally plays, and she's just settling down as we see the groups in the bottom left hand corner of the screen. Well, it should have Zambia on 6 points and Morocco on 4 and Senegal on 3 and 7 points, excuse my maths, and Morocco on 5 and Senegal on 4. So we are both updated that at present Zambia going through as group winners, and really the emphasis today is on the Copper Queens to win this game heavily, because Senegal are expected to put up a bigger fight against the host nation than the Congolese are against their neighbours Zambia. Irene Lungu into the middle, up goes the goalkeeper, 2 hands on this occasion for Ruth Conde, just taking her time, and that's exactly the right thing to do. Fideline Ngoy, the skipper, not even in the matchday squad. She spilled across from Fatima Tagnout against Morocco, so allowing Chebak her 2nd goal. Ngoy had no chance with Chebak's first. Then there was a poor goal kick from Ngoy that enabled Morocco's 3rd goal, and she was heavily criticised back home, and she is not in the team today. I'm far more surprised by the absence of Marlene Kassaj, who was in central midfield. She went off late, but she's not in the squad. Banda just cannot keep her cross and cleared into the centre. Kassaj did have a bandage on her knee, so I wonder if that's something to do with an injury. Either way, 2 very, very experienced members of the Congolese side, or key individuals so far in this campaign, just not to be seen. Oh, the familiar sound of the vuvuzela. Adding to the atmosphere. It's on the left, and the drums from the Congolese to my right. And they will keep going all game. Mary Wilombe just plays it back into Maluba. And here's Margaret Belamu, dropped for the last game, back in today, and the 28-year-old who was in the team of the tournament last time around, and a regular fixture for the Zambians in the Women's World Cup 2 years ago. Just touches it back into Musole in the Zambian goal, and Gambo Musole. She's also not had the best of tournaments, and I think it'll be really important for Zambia's defence today to see if they can keep a clean sheet for the first time in the tournament. 4 goals in 2 games, and that is their Achilles heel.
Yeah, the good thing about this Zambian team, in as much as their defense is not as strong as their attack, but even though, I mean, the coach said it in their press conference that even if they concede, that she's still very confident that she have a working attack that can actually, equalize those goals. But I think Zambian team should, do better going forward.
Well, it is something she said as well in the press conference, isn't it? The next step she was talking about, working on the defence. She's brought in Maluba in a bid to tighten things up at the back. And if they can find a lock, then Zambia could well go all the way in this competition. Lungu trying to make progress, playing the 1-2 with Banda, didn't come back to her. Maluba high into the Casablanca sky. There's Kaba, based in Saudi Arabia with Al Ali. Tries to get the Congolese moving. Olga Masombo cannot find Mawete, the skipper. And we've yet to really see much from the Congolese front two, but they could be dangerous. Mawete and Merveille Kanjinga, the rising star of Congolese women's football, yet to really see much of the ball, but they can be really dangerous, and they will put the Zambian defence under pressure.
Definitely, definitely. I think to keep Kanjinga at bay, I think the Zambian team needs to, cut off ball supply to her, because she can really be dangerous when she has the ball.
She can indeed. She came to prominence, Kanjinga, a 22-year-old, at the CAF Women's Champions League here in Morocco in November last year, and 2 months later she was snapped up by none other than Paris Saint-Germain. She called it a dream come true, a dream since she was a little girl, she said. And she said she could hardly believe her ears when she heard the news. Banda down the line into Mokoma, cannot get away from Eva Donassa Sumo, the 31-year-old. Another two, and played all the minutes for the Congolese in this game. Sumo, she had her issues against the Moroccans as well. Masombo takes the balls off Banda's toes. Well, just when she had some space and could play it into Mawete, who's based in Sweden with Djurgårdens, she failed to do so. There she is. Olga Masombo was speaking in the press conference yesterday in very good English. She came up through the American university system, and she was talking emotionally about how the team here are trying to do their best to make the people back home in DR Congo happy. Conflict in the east of the country since early in the year. And she said, we represent not just our country, but everyone else behind us, our mums, parents, sisters, the men and women still fighting. For us to be here, it's an honor. And those fighting every day push us forward. They give us hope to keep going no matter the result. We are playing football while they are fighting for their lives. It is only right for us to give everything we have. And that tells you about some of the determination and desire in this Congolese team. And here is Masombo, tries a strike from distance. And she's unable to get it past Chipasula. Now, really interesting to see Frida Makoma, the 18-year-old, starting today. Kindananji on the left, Makoma on the right, Banda in the middle. She was only called up for the first time, Makoma, late last year. She scored a hat-trick on debut. And even though she is just 18, she has already been snapped up by a Chinese Women's Super League team, Beijing. And she's very much one for the future. And when you look at the likes of Makoma and Kandananji, who's 25, and Banda, who's 25, this Zambian team could possibly do a Super Falcons and win this competition more than once. Possibly,
because we've seen prospects in the team. We've seen they are very promising, very young. I mean, they're in their mid-20s, and I think between now and in the next 5 to 10 years, I wouldn't be surprised with so much they will achieve in this period of time.
So much to work with for Nora Hauptler, their coach, who only came in January. So much potential in the side. So Banda standing over this alongside Chipasula, the 17-year-old, and Chipasula will be taking this. And there's rumours that she'll be making a big move soon herself. Lovely ball into the middle, and they're queuing up at the back, spilled at the back, and into the back of the net it goes, but the referee's whistle had blown. Kunde down on the floor, Ruth Konde. And the Kenyan referee had blown, and there's going to be a delay in play here as well, because Konde just clattered into Zambia with the ball in the back of the net. Once again, lovely ball in from Chipasula. It was Mwemba who went in and clattered into Ruth Konde. And it was at that point that the whistle went, and Frida Mukoma, who thought she had her first goal ever at a WAFCON, will have to wait just a little bit longer.
Yeah, yes, and I think Conde should have done better with that ball. And you're in your territory. You need to take authority of that zone, and she should have handled that ball better. That way, she wouldn't have run into Wemba, who is right there.
Well, here is Kundananji's goal again. 9 minutes on the clock. Just bounced just a fraction in front of the Congolese goalkeeper. She just didn't get down low enough, and I think you can see from that shot there that she knows she should have done better. Not the ideal start that you would want on your debut, and then it's about character. How can you recover? It's not always about whether you fail, it is how you come back. Now she's back on her feet. A nice cool evening here. It was very hot when we got here in the mid-afternoon. This game being played at 8 p.m. local time was the kickoff. And nice temperatures to play. And a bit of breeze, as said, as well. And it is blowing in the direction that Zambia are going as well. Helped barking the instructions. Zambia with room to deliver the cross. And it's over everybody inside the area, and it sails out for what will be a goal kick to Congo. Well, I think that Zambia scored with their first shot on target, just as they did against Morocco on the opening day, and just as they did against Senegal in their second game.
Yes, I mean, that's the good thing about this Zambian team. And each time they get a shot at goal, it's always a threat. It's likely going to go in. So I think it's a good thing for the team.
The power that they have is an envy of many a coach of this competition. Chipasula just playing it back into Maluba. Wilombe. Maluba again. They are unbeaten in their last 8 of 9 WAFCON games. The Zambians, the sole defeat coming in the 2022 semi-finals, were narrowly beaten by South Africa. Just a goal to nil it was. And they haven't lost any of their last 6 group stage matches. That gives you an indication of what the Congolese are up against. Wemba looking for Mukoma, who's in behind. Banda charging into the middle. She works it onto her right foot, Mukoma. Kundananji, striker goal from Kundananji. And safely gathered on this occasion by the debutant. Well, you can see what she was trying to do. Kundananji got a bit of bend on it, just not enough height, but decent enough effort from the Bay FC player. And in the end, a comfortable save for Conde.
Yeah, it's funny how each time the Zambians attack, they always pose a threat, and it's really good for this team. And I can't emphasize enough how the Congo defense should tighten up and cut off all those supplies to the Zambian attack.
Easier said than done, though, Desire.
Well, yeah, it's easier said, but we saw against Nigeria, we saw what the Botswanans did. They came with a clear game plan, and it worked up until the 89th minute. So if they had put a lot of work into it, I'm sure it would work for them in this game.
Indeed, but the issue is that Hervé Happy, the coach, just came in so late. What can you do with just over a month to prepare? They were playing in qualifying earlier this year for the next competition, the Congolese, and they did that under a Moroccan coach, Lamia Boumedi, who led TP Mazembe to that triumph. in last year's CAF Women's Champions League. She came in and took charge of the side for the first time just 2 days before their opening game against Botswana. So they made it through, and they'll meet South Africa when the decisive round of the 2026 WAFCON qualifiers take place. That's a really good striker goal. Coming in from who else? Merveille Kanjinga, and forcing a save from Musole. Good power, good strike, and the Congolese have their first shot on goal and their first target on their first corner as well.
Yeah, just as I said earlier, how dangerous Kanjinga can actually be when the ball is under her feet, and we could say one of those dangers that she possesses when she has the ball. What a great effort and what a save from Musole.
Well, she is so young, as said, just 22, and she's a real talent. Merveille Kanjinga scored the Congolese opener against the Moroccans 3 days ago. A scuffed shot that went through the legs of the defender before finding the back of the net, but that showed the power that she has. She's tall as well, and a real presence, and good way to pass as well. And she has Kanjinga. Can find players in the area, can slip them through as well, can cross. She's a real handful, and an undoubted star of the continental game in the future.
Definitely, the future looks really bright for her if she continues in this lane.
Absolutely, and alongside Mwete as well, who scored a stunning goal against the Moroccans to level matters up late on. Opened her body, curled it into the top right-hand corner. It was a really, really good finish, Thierry Henry-esque. And so they've got players who can make the difference up top, and we have just seen it for the first time as this game ticks towards the half-hour mark. Chipasula. Rachel Nachula charging forward from left back, but she can't find her. Grace Mfwamba hasn't seen too much of it. Cannot find Mwete, and Mwemba cheered by the Zambian fans as she gets that clear. Well, they are sticking gamely to their task, the Congolese, as they try and find a way back into this game.
Exactly, and they're really fighting and giving everything.
Kanjinga trying to find Kaba. And they like to switch around, these Congolese players. Kaba sometimes was up front, then she was on the left, then she was on the right. The same applies to Kanjinga as well. They're very, very fluid in the final third, the Congolese. And Kanjinga is now on the left of midfield with Mwete up front, but I'm sure we're going to see that change as the game goes on.
Yes, it's really good, you know, switching points of attack. That way they can actually exploit the Zambian defense. So it's good what they are doing so far. I hope it pays off sooner than later.
In case you're joining us late, Rachel Kundananji from a free kick that really should have been stopped by the Congolese goalkeeper. Well, her goal after 9 minutes is the difference right now. Mukoma trying to ensure that she can add to Zambia's tally. Kundananji, well, she tried to drop her shoulder and go past an opponent. She's going to have a striker goal again, Kundananji, and that's really well hit. And it almost went under the body of Conde again on this occasion. She got down just about quick enough, but she's got to be a bit smarter because Kundananji has got her shooting boots on today.
Yeah, I think at this point, I think Kundananji had only one intention coming onto this field, and that's to score as many goals as possible. She's had 3 great shots on target. Now 1 have gone in, and the last 2 have actually troubled the goalkeeper. And I think if she continues to have that space, she will continue to trouble the goalkeeper.
And that was really well struck and showed us very much what she's about. Yes, she drives forward as well, but that was really good hit. And Conde just about doing enough to keep the goal margin at just the 1 for now. Belange Bukulu trying to make some progress down the right-hand flank for the Congolese. One of those who won the Women's Champions League with Mazembe. And they beat a Moroccan side AS FAR in the final. And here she is, Bukulu, named in the best 11 for that competition. Final in El Jadida, just 100 kilometers south of here on the coast. So many stadiums in Morocco that can host games. The stadiums here for this Women's Africa Cup of Nations, well, I think it's just one of them that's going to be used, and that is to be confirmed in the Men's Africa Cup of Nations when that kicks off in December. The Men's World Cup, of course, coming here in 2030. The Women's Under-17 World Cup going to be starting later this year here in Morocco, the first of 5 tournaments. They'll be played annually. We've said it before and we'll say it again, but Morocco very much the home of women's football in Africa at present, and leading the way, and now it's about others catching up.
They are definitely leading. I mean, the quality of facilities they have on ground we've seen so far is amazing, and I hope, you know, other African nations can actually, you know, follow suit.
Congolese trying to clear their lines, picked up by Esther Silovangu, based in France with Le Mans in the second decision. Masombo plays a club football in Mexico, into Kanjinga. Lovely spread of play, but it hits the back of Rachel Nachula. She was trying to play in Kaba Kaba again. Lungu forward to Chipasula. Played all the games of the Under-17 Women's World Cup last year in the Dominican Republic for the Zambians, who gained a very good experience there. They didn't avoid defeat ever, beaten by the Brazilians, Poland, Japan. But so many of this side on the field tonight played at the 2014 Under-17 Women's World Cup, and they've been playing together for so many years. And you just can't buy experience like that, and it's something that the Congolese would wish they can have. Instead, they're up against a well-oiled machine. Exactly.
I mean, experience is very vital in times like this, and I'm sure the Congolese would have, you know, wished to have such experience in their sport.
It's all about building in the right direction, being well organised. And they're in behind here, and here is Makoma, just a heavy touch from her. And it will go behind for a corner, or will it? I think it was offside in the build-up, and so this will just be an opportunity for the Leopardesses to clear it away. Well, I'm not sure she was offside, but that's the decision that came in. So, something of a lucky break for the back line, and the Congolese, in that they won't be facing a corner from Zambia. They're rated 14th on the continent, the Congolese, and they're one of 3 teams at this competition outside the top 100. Only Tanzania and Botswana, the other ones. And they are taking on a team who, as I said, not just played together for so long. And they have 2 of the world's 3 most expensive women's footballers of all time, but that record is going to be going pretty soon. And we'll come to that in a moment. Lungu lets fly and blazes over from distance, looking for her first WAFCON goal since 2018. Irene Lungu, the 27-year-old. It's football in the People's Republic of China, but it is worth mentioning those transfers, because the Canada international Olivia Smith is about to join Arsenal from Liverpool for £1 million. That's $1.35 million. And that's a big transfer, and that's going to eclipse the fee paid by Chelsea for Naomi Girma in January, which was the first one over $1 million. And the two below that, Banda and Kundananji, but it just shows you the amount of money coming into the game. And Masombo speaking again, she says we're getting the chance to show what women are capable of doing, not only being in the kitchen like people say, but we are showing we're great footballers, great lawyers, great doctors, and this is another great tournament to showcase that.
Definitely.
Memorable
Definitely.
quote.
It is. I mean, it's an absolute growth for women's football, women in profession generally. You know, I'm excited with what the future will bring for women in sports and, you know, across all walks of life, because we're finally getting the attention, the
recognition,
the respect that we deserve as women. And I'm glad. I mean, we have a record transfer coming up very soon, and that goes to show you, you know, how bright the future is for women.
How proud does it make you feel?
It makes me feel incredibly proud, really, because, I mean, I think I'm part of the people that have set the precedence for what's happening now and what's going to happen in the future. So I am super proud.
Smiling away, there's our Opera Nozier, the former Nigeria international. And as said before, but worth reminding ourselves of, a 4-time winner of this event. You have to be Nigerian to be able to say that. Equatorial Guinea having won 2 titles, and South Africa the only other side on the continent to have ever stopped the Nigerians from taking the title. Mwemba looking forward, long towards Mukoma, who cannot control it. Stepped from defence, the Congolese, to try and get it away. Banda, well, that's a good tackle coming in on her. And she's still going, Banda, as is her one, driving into the area. And she got past Sumo, and then she lost out, and Bellamu will try and keep this alive for the Zambians. Chipasula taking on Masombo. Nice little drag back from her. Into the middle it goes. Banda trying to use her strength, and for once somebody's managed to hold her off. It was Sumo. Fittingly enough, given her surname and the sport in Japan, showing really good body strength to stop Banda, who's so adept at using her body wisely and just holding off the Zambian, which is not an easy thing to do.
Well, it is not. Galula, she did a very good job right there. And talking about Chipasula, I think she's been very vital in this Zambian team so far in this game. And I mean, you could say what she's done so far, how well she's winning vital battles. And I mean, I think Zambia, they won't really miss Chanda that much with her presence on the field today.
Absolutely. Banda trying to take it off the toes and almost succeeding in doing so. And it's worth saying about Chipasula, the rumours are that she'll be moving to the United States when she turns 18. That's going to be March next year. She'll be joining a National Women's Soccer League side, we understand. She is represented by the same agency that handles and represents both Banda and Kundananji.
Wow, that's incredibly amazing. And I mean, she's not even 18 yet, and there's a contract waiting for her. Amazing. Exactly.
That's what we are led to understand. It's a supply line of Zambian talent has not stopped with the likes of Banda and Kundananji, but it's really beginning to churn out player after player. Lungu with the defensive header. I think if anything, the Copper Queens will be disappointed that they've failed to add to that early goal. And even though Kundananji has had those strikes, they haven't created a clear-cut chance in the area from open play so far. Masombo. Vukulu. Up towards Kaba. Player down in the middle. Not looking incredibly comfortable either. Race in Fwamba, based in Saudi Arabia, like a few in the side. Kaba was actually the first Congolese ever to move to Saudi when she did so early last year. Banda over the top from Mukoma, charging forward, taking on Sumo. Here is Barbara Banda, and she misses. Oh, you do not see that very often. And she knows it as well. Oh, that is a shot. Through on goal, clean in behind. And for once, she could not aim it between the two white posts.
Yes, I mean, what a move that was. What an opportunity. I was sure that ball was going in. What a poor finish from Banda. I mean, ordinarily she doesn't miss that, but then.
Well, we had to say it once in the competition, perhaps.
Yeah.
Who knows? Perhaps we'll be saying it again. Kundananji, nice play. In it goes. Mukoma touches it back. Wilombe. Momentum just fizzling out, but trying to keep it alive. Into the middle it goes. Chipasula, faced by Masombo, and hurried off it by a combination of Mwamba and Masombo. And Zambia will have to build again from the back. I think Zara and I are still reeling from the fact that Banda didn't score. She'll be desperate to atone. Middle it goes. Belemo also playing it into the middle. Margaret Belemo. And then there's a foul. And the Congolese can clear their lines. And well, if they can keep it to 1 for the half-time team talk, and the Congolese might believe they can nick something in the second, because they kept it tight against the Moroccans for quite a while and managed to draw level. Can they do so again? Banda fell, and the referee blows her whistle, and that'll be a free kick to the Zambians. The time beginning to tick away at the end of this opening period.
And I mean, the pressure we've seen from Zambia this last 5 minutes, it's I think I don't know for how much longer the Congolese are going to withstand this pressure, but we're seeing more pressure from the Zambians, and I'm sure they will want to go into the break with maybe 2 goals.
Well, the noise levels only go up. More vuvuzelas here tonight than there were a few days ago, and Chipasula, who put in a really nice ball earlier in the half, will have another opportunity to do so. The Copper Queen's not afraid to push numbers forward. It's deep. It's allowed to go out by Conde. And despite the build-up and the horns, there wasn't really too much to blow their trumpet about with that delivery from Mercy Chipasula. Well, the latest score we have from Rabat is that it is still Morocco 0, Senegal 0. Which means that, just as it was and has been since the 9th minute, it is Zambia who are currently in the box seat to top this group, and whoever does manage to do so will play the team that finishes third in either Group B or Group C, and they will play in the quarterfinals in Rabat on Friday night. At present, it could well be a very, very tasty last 8 clash between the host nation Morocco and the record African champions Nigeria, which will be in Casablanca also on Friday. And as if Morocco finish second and Nigeria avoid defeat against Algeria when Group B comes to a close tomorrow evening. Foul on the halfway line as we are in the 45th minute of this half. It really would be some game, Morocco against Nigeria, wouldn't it, Desire?
It will be. It will be.
It would be, let's say. It'd be a nervy affair, and one of the the teams expected to go far in the competition just won't be able to do so, and that's probably the fate for whoever Nigeria will play if they finish top. Into the middle it comes, and Conde comes out, smothers, gathers, takes her time. Barbara Banda just ready to pounce onto that cross in from Nachula. Well, she was well found, but she was unable herself to find either Makoma or Banda in the middle. You can see there she was, Banda, the Zambia skipper. 2 minutes of additional time. Well, the more goals that go in, the more easily the Zambia coach will feel on the touchline. As Desire said earlier, she was very clear on about her desire to finish top of the group, saying delighted to have their own destiny in their own hands. And she also spoke about how this game was another mix and a change for her side. She said that Morocco brought good possession, the Senegalese brought physicality, and that this Congolese side will bring a mix of both. And that's in the strikers, Kanjinga, who has now gone more central, and Mwete, that they showed what they can do and finding the back of the net against the Atlas Lionesses. A player down over on the far side. There'll be time for Zambia to take this forward, but it will surely be the last attack of the half. Nachula drops her shoulder, just goes to and backs herself to win that race. Did the ball go out of play? I think it did. Well, I thought that was going to be a Zambian throw in. Instead, it's gone the way of the Congolese. Their best finish ever in this tournament. DR Congo was right at the very start, the very first one in 1998, because in 1991 and 1995 they were effectively African World Cup qualifiers, or Women's World Cup qualifiers. And in 1998 in Nigeria, the Congolese made it through to the semi-finals, lost that, but took the bronze medal. So the half-time whistle blows and Zambia are on course to top Group A, and they are doing so courtesy of a narrow 1-0 lead after Kundananji's goal early on from a free kick. Ruth Conde should have done better with it. This Women's Africa Cup of Nations, the Zambian fans are those you can hear as they try and rally their side. I mean, it could all be different if Algeria were to beat Nigeria tomorrow evening to finish top of Group B themselves, and then the threat of meeting the Super Falcons in the next round would ease. But do you see that happening? With impartial head on, please.
Well, I mean, in this tournament, anything can happen. Anything can beat any team. I mean, we've seen it, some surprises with the Ghana-Mali game yesterday. That was a surprise, and also the South African game as well. That was a surprise too. And anything can happen. Algeria can actually, come up with a surprise, and you never really know.
Desire Operonosier not ruling anything out. Banda forward to Mukoma. Kundananji charging forward, and she's still got a Mukoma, and she tries to play it into the middle. Did it take a deflection? It did, and there's going to be a corner. And as ever, the Copper Queens starting a half on the front foot. Well, Mukoma, who's making her first start at the WAFCON today after 2 substitute appearances, is a clear threat. And she'll be desperate to get her first goal of the campaign in this second period, but on that occasion she was looking for either Banda or Kundananji in the middle. So Mwemba coming forward from the back. she can score, as she showed us scoring Zambia's first ever goal at a World Cup, whether male or female. In it goes, and there is Mwemba just over her head. She's down on the floor. Or did she get a blow to the head from the goalkeeper? It'd be worth seeing that again, but there was a good ball in, and she just couldn't get the contact she'd have wanted.
It was a good ball in indeed, and I mean, Zambia, that attack should have taken care of it, you know. They had 4 Zambian players on that ball, and none of them could make contact with it. That was really a good set piece, my man.
Dangerous, searching delivery into the Congolese defensive area. Nerves will be jangling. That lady there, the former Swiss international. She watches Makoma just fail to keep it in play. Spent her early years coaching Nora Hauptley in with Switzerland's under-19 side. And of course, she qualified Ghana for this tournament before making the switch to Zambia 6 months ago. Mwete. Wiggling through, does really well. Fwamba tries to pick it up. Just take it off her toes, up to Makoma. More central on this occasion. Wilombe, she's muscled off it. And then Kaba played in, that's a nice ball forward. She couldn't control it the first time of asking Kaba. Kanjinga. Seems to have a bit of extra fizz in the opening seconds of this half, and that's going to be a Congolese corner unless Kanjinga keeps it in. Well, she can't. Well, they've given her goal kick, and I think that's because they saw Kanjinga busting a gut to get it, whereas if she had left it, I think that would have been given as a corner, but that's not the right decision for me. For you, Desire, for Enozie?
Yeah, it's definitely wasn't the right decision. Like you said, I agree, because she was facing down, chasing that ball, and the referee thought maybe the Congolese had the last touch.
She was simply trying. She's been punished for it. Mwemba. Forward into Kundananji. Nice little turn from her. Took it on the right. Moved forward on the left. Banda trying to win it back. Hustling, bustling. Always there, always getting stuck in. 25-year-old. And this throw-in being taken right in front of the Zambian supporters. Hence the increase in their supporters. The 39-year-old Nachula will throw this in over the head of Makoma because of the Congolese flick. Wilombe. Well, she's going to play it forward early into Kanjinga. Leslie Maluba goes down, and then that's really good defensive play and strength as well from Chipasula, who's not exactly built, but she made herself look pretty strong and solid there.
Yes, I mean, I've seen her do a couple of those in the first half, and she's really proven to be a very, an integral member of the team. She's fighting, winning every ball, and each key battle she's involved in, she's managed to win. If not every one of them. She's done really well so far.
A very, very promising debut for 17-year-old Mercy Chipasula. Mwete now. We know what she can do if given the chance. And they're looking to Kaba again. Nachula with the header, only as far as Kinjinga. A little touch, I think it was, from Wilombe. And Lungu now. Lungu and Wilombe haven't missed a minute. Banda looking to play it down the right-hand flank, but that's cut out. And the Congolese will try and go forward. Nice turn from Kanjinga. And still she has it. Kaba now. Mwete ahead of her. A little bit of space inside if she goes that way, but she doesn't. She plays it back into Kanjinga. Got 3 in front of her, and she just has to roll it back into Mwanda, the substitute. She does well, Mwanda, but not with the delivery. And Lungu will just play this forward where Makoma will pick it up. She needs players around her. Well, she could have just played an easy pass square. Instead, she looked instantly forward, as Zambia like to do, at the expense of ceding possession. Mfwamba, Masombo. And Sumo now has it at the back. Space here for Kanjinga. Well, that was an awkward height for Kanjinga to take. He is on a yellow card, Kanjinga. As for the Zambians, well, the only one who is risking missing a game in the next round, if booked, is Musole in goal, because Chilufya is just not being risked on the bench for now. Kanjinga, one of 3 Congolese on a yellow, but it's all pretty academic for them at present, given that they cannot make it through to the knockout phase. And a reminder that Morocco currently going through as top, the hosts of this Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Zambia second, unless they can find another goal. And there's going to have to be a bit of calculating as well if that happens. At present, Morocco top with 7 points and having scored 7 goals while conceding 4, so that's a goal difference of +3. Zambia also on 7 points, but 6 goals to the 4 conceded. A goal difference of +2 in that present. That is what is separating the sides who met in that wonderfully opening game of the tournament. Sumo forward to Kanjinga. And Congolese goal could change everything. Kaba Kaba. And the player back into Kanjinga, to the frustration of Congolese supporters, just punching the air in frustration alongside me and throwing their hands up. I felt that Kaba Kaba should have been able to find the number 19. Lungu just sits it down. They're so settled in that midfield, aren't they? Lungu and Wolombi, just so tidy, know exactly what they're doing, and they give the platform for everybody else to bomb forward.
They do know what they're doing, you know, they manage to, you know, take possession of that midfield, and I mean, that has been their strength so far in this game.
Kundananji, well, she got a little bit lucky to get it back, Kundananji, then she goes down, and this will be a free kick, and it's not a dissimilar position to from where Kundananji scored in the opening half. And she will fancy her chances again by scoring. She became the first Zambian to ever score in 3 consecutive WAFCON games in a row. Barbara Banda became the first player in the last game to do it twice, and then Kandananji soon followed her. Now Kundananji has got ahead with 3. I'm sure Banda will try to be emulator once again. So Banda standing over it, and so too the copper-haired, copper queen, Rachel Kundananji. And Conde in that Congolese goal do better. Kundananji straight into the wall, and then she has another effort as well, and that's just not going to trouble Conde or the Congolese, and it remains Zambia 1, DR Congo 0.
Yes, and I mean, this free kick from Kundananji, she got it wrong the first time, and I think she got a second chance to do better with the ball, but then she chose to, you know, go the same direction. I think she should have made something better with that second chance.
Play it into the middle, taking something different. Banda picks up the loose ball, checks back, and then plays it into space and into the middle where Lungu finds Wilombe. Belamu up to Chipasula. Belamu again, and Sumo into Kaba Kaba. Not the most convincing first touch, but she's got it away. And then Kanjinga trying to get on her bike and get going. Unable to do so. Kundananji into Makoma. Always full of running. Banda. Space in the middle if they can play it in there. And Kanjinga takes it off the toes of Barbara Banda. And they need to get this away. And here is Kanjinga. And then they give it away. Wemba back into Banda. Solid challenge coming in on her from Mwanda. She just rolls up her socks, Barbara Banda. She will go again. Over the top into Kaba Kaba. Mwete is free in the middle if she can find her. Kaba Kaba into the middle it goes and turned behind for a corner. Had to be done. Important defending at the back from Blessing Maluba. And DR Congo beginning to believe and just beginning to cause some problems in the Zambia backline. They're trying to get in the cross and that'll be another corner.
Yeah, that was a good move. I mean, Kanjinga and Kabakaba, they have as much pace as Kundananji and Banda, but the Congolese haven't really had the opportunity to, play those balls to them.
Into the middle it goes, free header! Oh, she could not hit the target. And that was a very, very presentable opportunity for the Leopardesses. Well, the delivery was there, and where was the marking at the back from the Zambian? That will be concerning. Nora Hauptlet. Well, it wasn't Mwete who got up, it was Kaba Kaba who I think got there. Yes, it was. She just couldn't get over it, and look at them. 4 Congolese queuing up at the far post. Where was the Zambian defence?
I don't know. I guess they got carried away with the flight of the ball, and they lost their markers. But I think Kabakaba should have done better with that ball. She, made good contact with the ball. It was just the direction that she couldn't get.
Certainly was not for Niobe Kabakaba. Set up Kanjinga's opener against the Moroccans. And a couple of chances as well in that game. She's a lively player who does really well to support Kanjinga and Mwete. Kundananji forward to Banda, but it's just an easy pass that doesn't find the Zambia captain. Can Mwalombe do better? Lungu, Belamu, Chipasula with Makoma ahead of her. And those two will know each other very well, those 2 teenagers. And a throw into Zambia over on the far side. And I wonder what changes we'll see. Whether the same 11 will stay on. They've got a long break before the quarterfinals. Zambia, assuming they are going to make it through, and have 6 days if they play on Friday, and a whole week obviously if it's Saturday. Banda blocking the attempted clearance. Makoma into the middle, driven a goal, and stopped by Conde at the second attempt. Well, she got the shot away well, with power as well. Frida Makoma from a really tight angle, driven in, driven well. And better handling, much better handling on this occasion, but good strike from the young teenager. He's got thinking to do. This is every game playing here. He wants to see progress, wants to see possession. He says his team has got big potential and that they're going to work and keep working, and that one day it will come. And given the talent up front for the Congolese and obviously the record of Mazembe at club level, you can see why he says what he does. So some changes coming for the Leopardesses. Mfwamba is coming off, and coming on in her place is Falone Pambani, who will sit just behind the strikers. Also coming on, Anastasia Sulak. Well, I was saying that the coach wanted to progress on each occasion, and he's bringing on a 21-year-old based in France again with Nice, another one of his spots. And Sulak is on for her first cap for DR Congo. have to wait and see where she plays, the 21-year-old Sulak. Kambani is much more evident. Well, she's just slotting on the right-hand side of midfield. Sulak. So at present it is just a conventional 2 for the Congolese up front in Kanjinga and Mwete. Can those changes make the difference? And there's still Morocco 1, Senegal 0. Just under half an hour to go as Kundananji tries to find Mukoma, fails to do so. Wilombe. Up to Banda, who cannot control. Mukoma, strike a goal from Mukoma. On the turn, on the swivel. She gets applause from Banda, but straight at the Congolese goalkeeper.
Yeah, it's straight into the hands of the Congolese goalkeeper. And at this point, I think the Zambians are throwing in everything in this game. And they just can't stop, putting pressure on the Congolese team.
It's important that they don't panic though and just take their time, play their football. There's a lot of space out there that they can exploit, and they haven't always been able to do so. Mwete through the middle, forcing the corner. Mwemba turning it behind. Excellent, powerful running from Flavine Mwete. We've not seen all that much of it from her in this game, but we know what she can do.
Exactly, we know what she can do, and the moment the Congolese start putting those balls behind the Zambian defense, I think the likes of Mwete and Kanjinga can actually exploit those spaces behind the Zambian defense.
Should be a very, very interesting last third of the game. Well, they had a free header from their last corner. Now they're going to get on this time around, free again! And into the arms of Musole, who dives onto the ball, but once again the Zambia marking slack. And we said it before and we'll say it again, it is the main thing that will prevent them from going all the way in this competition, because they just struggle with it. It was Sulak. Zambia instantly up at the other end. Nice footwork there. Pambani. And Sumo just hits it up towards the halfway line, and that was cleared, but they must work and work and work on this in training, and yet they just can't seem to get it right.
They can't, and I think they need more to dedicate more time to work on it, and actually have a lasting solution to this kind of problems.
Well, what Coach Hamilton was also saying after the game against Senegal is we should have been 3 or 4-1 up and we should have put the game to bed. She felt that they lost a bit of organisation. They should have closed the game out, and I think we're seeing this again. That was the feedback the coaching crew gave to the team, but we're in sort of familiar territory because it's happening again. Yes,
and it looks like as though they are under a bit of pressure to score, because right now when they get to opponents' final third, they are not settled. They always, it looks as though they are in a hurry to make that final contact.
And you must know what that's like when you're on the pitch, and how does it affect you when you do it? Because you take decisions too quickly, don't you?
Yes, and sometimes you're just by yourself. You have the whole time to actually take 2 or 3 more touches, but then because you're in a hurry, you tend to miss your target.
Yeah, you can snatch at things, play passes too early, and just there's lots of time.
Exactly.
Even when the additional time goes up at the end of the game, the 5 minutes is seen as a long time. Well, I've got a lot longer than that.
Exactly, it adds more pressure to it.
Mwete getting in behind Mwemba into the middle and just in front of Kanjinga. Belamu just touches it to the side to get it away from Masombo on rushing. Kanjinga out there again, and Belamu forward again and up the line. And this will come back in and come back high. Belamu once again is in there. Chipasula, another neat and tidy touch from her. And then through the middle. And Mwemba switching it onto her left foot up towards Banda. Been fairly quiet in this second period. Oh, that is ugly. That is nasty. And if that's a card, is it going to be red? Well, that is Lungu, who was absolutely caught by Pambani, who's just come on, and that looked like a boot in the head. And I wonder what decision is going to be made here, but there's a very strong argument that that should be a straight red card.
Well, we're going to have to look at that again, but it's not looking good from this end.
Dangerous play, high foot. She's going to get a yellow, no more. And I can only imagine that Falon Pambani is mightily relieved that it is no worse than that, because that really was dangerous play. And Lungu is down on the floor, and as Desire Nosier says, it'll be good to see this again. There was no malice at all, but it certainly wasn't a wise move to make, and whether intentional or not, it was dangerous. Yeah,
it was really dangerous, and now the referee is going to have to look at it.
The Zambian players using the opportunity. Here it is. Look at this. Look at that. If that is not a red card, I really don't know what is, to be brutally honest. And it's almost so unpleasant you don't want to see it again. And the VAR team surely are having a word here. And it's impossible to see how Pambani's going to stay on the pitch.
It is. I hope it's I hope it's not in serious, but she's still on the ground. And
well, we've seen the VAR sign being made. The yellow card has been cancelled, and Pambani is off, and the Congolese are down to 10 men. And I'm afraid to say, Falon Pambani, that is the right decision. VAR have done their job. Well, she's only been on the pitch for a matter of minutes, and she is off. And as Desire says, the concern really is how Ilunga is. She looks okay, remarkably enough. It looks better from that angle than from the other one. An early bath for the former captain of DR Congo. And Zambia have got just over 20 minutes against 10 women of the Democratic Republic of Congo, and to try and find the goal. They just need one to take them level with the Moroccans, and if they did so, nothing would separate them and Morocco whatsoever. And should it stay 1-0 in Rabat to the Moroccans, and Zambia could find another goal here, then there would be the possibility of a drawing of lots to find out which team would finish where in the group. Mukoma in behind, but it was taken too early. Kenyan official reaching for the red card, and Ilunga has got a minor bandage on the side of her head as she's continuing to play, the 27-year-old. I'd have thought she would have needed a little bit more treatment than that. From one angle it looked very bad, and from the other angle it looked a little bit more glancing.
Yes, I'm relieved to see her back on her feet and still carrying on with the game. It really looked terrible, but I'm glad she's okay.
Yeah, likewise, absolutely. Well, while that was all going on, the Congolese made another change and bringing on another player for her debut, Sarah Yasangomo, a 26-year-old based in Turkey, coming on. She's wearing number 22, and she's on for Kaba Kaba. Machula. Oh, chance here. It's Messi. And it just doesn't drop for Banda. Nice touch from Awete to take it away from Wilombe, driving run this from Mwete. Lovely bit of play into Kanjinga. Sulak at the far post. Just checks back. The 22-year-old lets fly from distance and doesn't manage to hit the target. Kanjinga. Kaba was the player replaced, excuse me. It was actually Siluvangi. Siluvangi who came off. Well, if they were hurrying things before, what are they going to do now when they're up against 10 men? Because in many ways that sort of increases the onus on the Zambia to really find this goal that they were struggling to find in any case. It can only possibly work. It can work in two ways.
Yeah, it can work in two ways, and possibly, hopefully, Zambia can actually capitalize on this. I mean, one man down and get something out of it, or perhaps Congo can actually fight back with one man down, and we'll see what happens at the end of the day.
And looking long for Makoma. The referee not happy with the challenge by the Zambian, and that'll be a free kick. Goes DL Congo's way. Kubiena, 22-year-old, clattered into by the team. It is still 1-0 in Rabat. Nice skills from Sulak. And that will endear her to the Congolese faithful. Nice play as well from Mwete. She couldn't get the crossing that she'd have wanted, but she's got another chance. Good defending from Nachula. She's been really impressive, the 39-year-old in this tournament. Stuck doggedly to her task, just done the basics, hasn't she?
Yes, she has, and I mean, she's giving everything away to captain of the side. She's, you know, leading through her play, and you could see how much she's pushing the game up there, and it's been very impressive so far.
It really has been, and also we're seeing what a bit of pressure can do coming into this game. Group A had delivered 19 goals in its first 4 games. That's an average of nearly 5 a game, but now with the pressure on, everything has changed. Just the one here in Mohamedia and just the one in Rabat as well. Those 19 goals, more than the 12 scored in groups B and C combined. It has been hugely entertaining. And the Moroccans, by virtue of outscoring the Zambians by just the 1 goal, are the ones going through at top as present. Kanjinga. Mwemba down on the floor, and then the assistant referee instantly waves for an infringement. The Congolese fans up in arms, and Desire Operanozio not too happy about that decision either. You think that was a soft decision in favour of the Zambian?
Yeah, I think it's a soft decision because I mean, there's barely any contact on that on the Zambian defender.
And it's just a bit of physicality, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the game.
Yes, I mean, Kanjinga won the ball. It was a clean win for her.
I am in total agreement with you. She went down. It's a bit like when goalkeepers go down in the box, the referee instantly puts the whistle to his or her lips. And on this occasion, Zambia got a little bit lucky. Banda is just having a word on the touchline with her coach, who needs to find a way to get another goal. Zambia certainly going through. The Moroccans as well. And Lungu, who survived that blow to the head, is coming off, and Everine Suzeni Katongo, who also plays in the middle of the park, will be coming on, the 22-year-old who plays their football back home with Green Buffaloes. Started every game at the Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand 2 years ago, so she brings experience. Also played at the Olympics and has been a regular over the years for the Copper Queens. And Nanji's early goal still separating the sides. Mwemba forward to Makoma. Little touch from Makoma, and that goes in behind for a corner, and this is an opportunity for Zambia.
Yes, it is definitely an opportunity for Zambia, and Machula have really done well from the left defense. She's been, really pushing and joining the attack to add more number and fluidity in the Zambian attack, and this could actually be a good opportunity for Zambia to capitalize on.
Wilombe will come and take this, and they will push players forward. How they want this to go in. Congolese down to 10. Wilombe issuing the instruction. What's the delivery like? It goes short. And she's forced a little wide, Wilombe, and this is not going into the area at all. Mwemba. Katongo. Well, that's a corner. That's gone exactly the wrong way. It didn't even get into the area, and instead the Zambia have had to go back to their own half, and now that's a throw into the Congolese, I would say.
Yeah.
Backfired.
Yeah, it didn't, but they did that same corner on the other side of the field, and it worked really well. You remember when they had the situation of 4 Zambian players on the ball, but couldn't make clear contact on the ball. So I think perhaps it's more effective on the left than on the right.
Yes, we'll have to see if it happens again. Kinjinga out to Sulak because Nachula missed it. She's in behind Sulak, striker goal. She just can't guide it on target. It was always fading away. She didn't catch it how she would have wanted to. But just for a moment, they were in behind. Nachula's failure to cut that out, giving an opportunity to the substitute, and she slashed at it rather horribly, and that's why she holds her hand up in apology.
Yeah, what an opportunity that would have been, what a chance that would have been if it had come on target or if it had gone in.
Well, she had options as well. She didn't have to hit it that early. She could have just carried it forward and gained a bit of yardage and then seen the whites of Masole's eyes.
Totally, she definitely had time to take a second or third touch.
Nachula will be breathing a little easier. Rachel Nachula, based in Israel. She played at left back in the first game, right back in the second, and she's back at left back. Versatile as well as experienced. Nice play from Kubiena. Sulak, cut out by Nachula. Kundananji. Well, Kundananji and Banda being far quieter than Zambian fans would like. And the Congolese, let's give them credit because they're down to 10. But they are making the game hard for Zambia. And despite going down early as well, they've just kept going at it. Wilombe with another chance. On this occasion, I'm sure she's just going to pump it into the area.
It looks like it.
Just 3 Zambian players on the edge of the box. Banda, one of them. Makoma. Well, she was trying the strike, but didn't go to plan. Katongo. She was also trying a strike, and then it comes to Kundananji. And she can't trouble Conde. And it will stay Zambia 1, DR Congo 0, and there's just under 10 minutes left. Makoma, the player with the strikes on goal in this half for the Zambians. But neither Banda nor Kundananji have managed to do so. I wonder if a bit of fatigue is beginning to come in at the end of the group stage. Here is Kundananji. Lots of space inside. Katongo. Out to the right-hand side. Banda at the back post if she can be found. Striker goal! And it hits the side netting. Oh, there were huge cheers from the Zambian supporters who thought that that was in. Look at this, struck really well. And it just rippled the side netting from Priska Chilufya. Struck well, just the wrong side of the post if you're a Zambian.
Yes, and then, I mean, a squaring ball would have been ideal from that angle.
stays just a goal. And it's going to be a corner now to the Congolese as well. Keeping plugging away. And now their supporters raise their decibel level. And they are sending up players from the back as well, trudging forward. They have never lost all 3 games of this competition before. And they are desperate to avoid it. Desperate to give some cheer. As said, this tournament a chance to momentarily escape some of the traumas back home. One fan was telling international media ahead of the tournament, and I'm sure that they would celebrate a goal and a draw against Zambia, their neighbours, with joy. Mwanda shapes to take it. Perhaps reads the movement of the Zambian defenders. In it comes on this occasion. Up it goes. Up to the back stick, and Mwete cannot keep it down when it fell to her on her left foot, and just possibly took it a little bit early, but an opportunity nonetheless.
Yeah, it was a great opportunity, and guess the ball fell on her weaker foot, and there's hardly anything she could have done there.
Another opportunity goes by. Zambia continue to live a little dangerously. Masombo. And she wants a corner. And she has got a corner as well. The referee running away. So the Leopardesses apply some late pressure in the Zambian goal. The Senegalese goal, of course, would change everything. And the Congolese goal now would quite conceivably ensure Zambia have to settle for second place. Mwanda switching sides. 5-6 Congolese in the area. It's headed by Banda. Balamu, Mwemba. You just need to use this, Zambia, and instead it's instantly cut out by Yasongamo. And Banda has certainly not been at her best in this half.
Not quite, not quite. I think the whole of Zambians attack, they haven't really, been their best selves. I think they are playing under pressure because knowing that they have to score a lot of goals in this game, and that is not happening. So I think it puts them under a lot of pressure.
And there hasn't been too much squad rotation or team rotation either during the 3 games. And I think they are just basically working them all the way until this near week-long break will come their way. Makoma, into the middle it goes. Chance in, that just deflects behind for a corner. Chalufia again was sniffing. Instant sight to a goal, took it early. I imagine Nora Halfler's heart is pumping. She said that we've been enjoying the games while her blood pressure has been rising in some of the matches earlier in this group stage. I'd love to know what her thought process is right now as we enter the last 5 minutes of this game. The last corner didn't go so well for the Zambians. They go short again from this left side. Do they get it right? Much better ball into the middle. Conde with the punch does really well. Masombo surely didn't want to do that, and then Makoma just too hard with the challenge. And the Congolese can clear their lines, and we'll see further substitutions coming as well. So Nachula coming off, Martha Tembo coming on, and the other change is going to see Makoma, who's had a really good night, the 18-year-old. In case she's not got her goal, but she's worked really hard for the team. And Mapopo, the 32-year-old, will come on, like Nachula, another who's athlete for Zambia as well as an international footballer. Sulak. doesn't manage to win the corner on this occasion. Martha Tembo straight into the action. The 27-year-old missed the opening game through suspension. Straight back in the side, and now just a few minutes and the Congolese will also make a change. Gloria Mabomba, who scored the goal in February in qualifying against Botswana to clinch the win, is coming on. Masombo is off, 27 years of age. Mabomba plays with Auxerre in France. And he made her debut last year, despite being called up for the first time in 2023. What can she do in the little time remaining? Kundananji tries to hack it away, but the referee's whistle has gone. Well, the Congolese have grown in confidence as this game has gone on, and they are making it look as if they have the full complement of 11 rather than 10.
Exactly. I mean, they are not playing as though they are one man down, and it's really quite very impressive to see them, you know, fighting even without their full squad.
Well, is this going to be a strike at goal, or is this going to be a dink to the back stick? It's the latter. Really good ball in as well, and they were in behind. Well, they were static at the back for Zambia. There was no offside flag. Obviously, there was no touch either. But 4 white-shirted players were in behind. Look at this, just over the head of Kanjinga. Just a little bit too much on it. Not the worst bit of play by any stretch of the imagination. They were a little unlucky there.
Yeah, that was a very good ball delivery. I think the forward player should have run into that ball.
Just a shade too much on it, but what was noticeable was once again how easily they got in behind the Zambian defence.
Yes.
A shake of the head from Desire Operanozie. Musole doing really well just to slow this down and just get her side to breathe a little. Wilombe, Tembo, Kundananji. She could have just played it easily back to Katongo, but she chose not to. Mwete, she had Merve Kanjinga to her right, failed to make the pass. And Musole will come and get this again, and starting to turn to the 4th official. It is still 1-0 to Morocco in Rabat. The hosts going through currently as Group A winners. Zambia in second. Senegal will be nervously hoping that they can squeeze through as a best third place side with just 3 points, should it end that way. 5 additional minutes. And we talked about that being plenty of time in the end of a game. They've not used the previous 25. Nice layoff from Kundananji into Katongo. Much better. Lovely skills there from Katongo. Belemu on the floor. Banda goes down. Well, there were 2 players rushing in on that, and that was better, more controlled football. They took a little bit of time. They tried a good ball forward. Banda just unable to get on the end of it. Just a little bit more positive, but still the minutes tick away. They can't find Banda again. Sumo Long. Belemu. Maluba. She got lucky because Mabomba was bombing forward to do some impressive pressing. Lovely footwork again from Katongo. She's shown some really neat skills since she's been on the pitch. Good ball into the middle, into Banda, and she can't keep the header down. Oh, that could have been it. That could have been 2-0. And once again, not for the first time tonight, the reigning Women's African Footballer of the Year, holding her head in her hands. The goalkeeper had come out. She just needed to cushion the header. She didn't need to generate power. She needed to absorb it with her head and just cushion it into the goal. She may well have been put off by the onrushing Conde, but Katongo has been fantastic in the midfield for Zambia tonight, Desire, since she's come on.
Yes, she's done really well tonight, and this Zambian team, they've done everything right tonight except for that second goal. It's just not coming.
Well, when it was 1-0 within the opening 10 minutes, I wouldn't have fancied it ending 1-0, but that's what it seems to be. Just under 3 minutes to go. Chilufya, Zambia on rushing. The Congolese still battling away and making life hard for their Southern African neighbours. Chilufya goes down. That'll be a free kick to Zambia. And there might be a yellow card as well. She's reached for her pocket. And she's having a word. And it is indeed a yellow. I think it has gone the way of Mwanda. We'll get the confirmation on the screen. But an opportunity here for Zambia once again. Ngalula, who went into the book. Well, that can't be right, because Ngalula was booked earlier in the half, so I think that's a yellow from Mwanda myself. Deep in it goes. And Banda up again. And they're just lacking a bit of conviction. There was that lovely bit of play from Katongo, who does bring conviction onto the field, but the others do seem a little tired. Obviously they seem a little tired, and I mean it's normal for them to have tired legs, because I mean they've been playing back to back, and it's only normal that they're a bit tired. Katongo with their header again, showing how Zambia has not missed Grace Chanda. I wonder why she came on so late, frankly. Because this is a game where creativity was needed more than defensive midfield play, which is what Lungu and Wilombe bring. Time running out, just 50 seconds or so to go. Kundananji, they're so desperate to find the goal that they're just not playing intelligently.
Exactly, that's that pressure I spoke about earlier. Now they are all playing on that pressure. They are putting in everything to make sure they get that goal, and by so doing, they are no longer relaxed.
Well, cheers to our left as members of the Zambian squad. Yasangomo, the player in the notebook. Grace Chanda walking in front of the Zambian supporters. 10 seconds or so to go. And ultimately, they are just going to have to settle to finish behind Morocco in this group. Kundananji, unless something dramatic happens in the next 20 seconds or so, should they be allowed to play that. Chilufya, Banda trying to play off the line. Belemu, the whistle goes. Zambia have beaten the Democratic Republic of Congo by 1-0. But unless there is a late equaliser from Senegal, it is not enough for the Zambians to go through in top spot. They are in the quarter-finals once again, just as they were in 2022.